Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 20th, 2018 regular business board meeting. Before we get started, Mr. Copeland would like to announce an additional agenda item.
Yes, if you take note of our agenda that will be flashed up there eventually, we have added under new business a resolution to adopt the LMOSA, that's the Lower Merion Organization of School Administrators Meet and Discuss Agreement. And that'll be under new business.
We're all very happy.
Applauding for herself.
That's good. It's all right. It's still summer. It's still summertime. Okay, so before we get started, I'd like to ask if anyone in the audience would like to speak on any agenda item. So this is for agenda items only. We'll be able to speak on any issue at the end of the meeting. Would anyone like to come up and speak on an agenda item? No. Okay, great. Then I will turn it over. Actually, I will not turn it over. It's you. Sorry. We are going to approve the attached minutes from the Board of School Directors meetings. That's the July 16th regular business board meeting, as well as accepting the following committee meeting minutes, the August 16th Facilities and Purchasing Committee meeting. So is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Then the motion passes. And I will now turn it over to Mr. Copeland.
Thank you, Dr. Gilbert. Really, the biggest highlight that we've been following all summer has been our enrollment. We have, as of today, hit exactly 8,700 students. We are on target to meet our projected enrollments, and so there's been a lot of talk about the decline of school-age children around the country. So I wait every summer to see if we're going to be part of that national decline, and apparently, once again, we are not. Our enrollment, and we are partner schooling, and that is being done so that we can maintain the class sizes that the community has come to expect. Thank you. It's the summer.
Get back into it.
Under adjudication for residency determination, the administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the specially appointed hearing examiner's resolution excluding students from school and removing them from the rolls of the Lower Merion School District due to a lack of residency in the form presented to the board.
Are there any questions from the board? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The motion passes.
Under Human Resources, the superintendent recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the attached Human Resources actions HR 1 through HR 3.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? The motion passes.
Under Educational Services, I'd like to take items A and B in one motion. A, this administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the renewal of Edmonton's Study Island ELA Library Program license for all elementary schools for the 2018-19 school year at a cost of $10,414.08. And further, the administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the renewal of My Learning Plan for the 2018-19 school year at a cost of $13,974.77.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
I have a quick question. Question regarding Study Island. Is that a program that students are able to use at home, or is that something strictly for school use?
Mr. Cody, can they use that at home?
Yes, students are able to use that resource at home.
Can you just give a high level of what it is? I've heard the name, but I'm not as familiar.
So Study Island is a resource that is utilized in the classroom for workstations and supplements a lot of the curriculum studies around English language arts currently at the elementary level.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? And it passes.
Under Student Services, the administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the student services items as listed. Agreement for students receiving non-district educational services, SS1 to SS13.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. We will now have a report of the Facilities and Purchasing Committee meeting of August 16th by Mr. Driscoll.
Thank you. Purchasing of Facilities and Purchasing Committee met this past Thursday, and we began, as always, reviewing and recommending for approval the list of bills. We then reviewed and recommended for approval of the following district contracts. Edmonton for $10,414.08. This is the online materials called Study Island ELA Library to support all the students at the elementary level. We then recommended for approval the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit, $13,974.77. The MCIU negotiated a reduced rate for multiple districts to license Frontline to manage the staff's professional development programs. We then reviewed a list of contracted drivers. These are drivers that are provided by the contracting services, not Lower Merion, but we contract out. But we have, as required by state law, we must approve the names of those drivers. We then reviewed and recommended for approval a contract with My Turn to Drive. The district will receive $2,400 as My Turn to Drive will lease classroom space at both high schools for driver education this fall. We then reviewed and recommended for approval the following items from the purchasing report. Hunter Engineering Company, $15,342.65. This is a tire balancer for our bus fleet. Contract with Imperial Dade, $378,289.32. The district itself organized a consortium bidding process to purchase paper products such as napkins and paper towels for itself and 14 other districts. Imperial Dade was the lowest bidder, so our portion is under $60,000 of that whole $378,000. We then reviewed and recommended for approval 2 contracts through Hondru Ford and Triad Truck Equipment. The total is $146,099. This is to purchase 2 new trucks, a plow for one and a dump assembly for the other. The 2 existing trucks that are being replaced are about 10 years old and have reached the end of their useful lives. Those trucks that are being replaced will be resold through a government property auctioning process. We then reviewed and recommended for approval a net contract with Chester Valley Engineers for $125,000. This is for Chester Valley to provide site feasibility sketch plans and overall design support for a 3rd middle school and associated athletic fields. We then mobile lease for not to exceed $158,033. This contract is to extend the lease of the modular classrooms at Penn Elementary for an additional 2 years. Gilbert Architects, an increase by about $5,000 for BCMS and an additional $10,000 for Welsh Valley. As the cafeteria projects have progressed, additional work has been needed from Gilbert to manage unforeseen circumstances. Contract with Reynolds Construction not to exceed $49,750. This will provide additional construction management services to support the building of a 3rd middle school. We then discussed the Plan Congé for Welsh Valley Middle School. This is submission of the final audit report to the state for possible construction cost reimbursement. We discussed 2 resolutions regarding the Harriton Basin. The first is to change the date for liquidated damages from August 20th to September 3rd to adjust for unforeseen circumstances and associated delays in completion. And the second is to allow the administration to issue all directives, cost and schedule adjustments and professional services and fees that will be subsequently approved by the board at the next board meeting. By granting this to the administration, it gives them the flexibility to keep this project moving forward. We then reviewed and recommended for approval of the following change orders. 2 with Harriton Stormwater Basin, an increase of $56,680. Upon removal of the pipes in this basin, it was discovered that the underlying stone had some of the space is filled with soil. This contract is to remove that stone layer at the very bottom of the basin and replace with a clean stone layer. We then had an increase of $12,900. This is to repair manholes that were discovered to be cracked at this stormwater basin. The next four with Welsh Valley, an increase of $19,629.60. This is to clean out and recut existing control joints and add self-leveling compound, so the new floor of the cafeteria will be level and stable. An increase of $5,325.67 to install a new expansion joint to keep the floor stable. Increase of $33,195.03 to replace existing bulkheads. During constructions, it was discovered that some of the bulkheads were not as structurally sound as needed. And the last one for Welsh Valley was an increase of $3,925.45. Upon removal of the wall separating the cafeteria from the former music room, stone material removed left a very uneven base upon which to install a new floor. The unevenness was greater than anticipated, requiring additional work to make this space level. We then had two project updates. For Welsh Valley and Ballackinwood cafeterias, the construction of both cafeterias is progressing very well. The serving counters have been delivered and installed, and it is anticipated that the cafeterias will open on time for school this year. We then discussed replacing the stormwater basin. The pipes for the new basin have been delivered to the site. Unfortunately, we had the setback of the crush of the rock having soil at the very bottom level, impacting the efficiency of the basin. This lowest level rock needed to be replaced, and unfortunately, this has pushed the construction completion date out a few weeks. That concluded our meeting, and then our next facilities and purchasing meeting is on September 20th at 8:30 in this room.
Thank you very much. We've got to do the...
Under Business Office and Finance?
Yeah, thanks.
Under Business Office and Finance, we're going to take items B through E in one motion. The administration recommends the Board of School Directors approve the list of bills, approve the financial report for July 2018, approve the donation of $3,000 from the Welsh Valley Middle School HSA towards school assemblies in the 2018-19 school year. Donation of an executive desk from valued at $1,200 from Karen Castaneda to Lower Merion School District. And those are accepted with pleasure pursuant to Policy 702, and declare surplus items as surplus property and authorize the disposition thereof.
Thank you, and on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank the Welsh Valley HSA as well as Ms. Castaneda. Are there any questions at this time? Do you have a motion to approve? Thank you. Second? Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes.
Under the Facilities and Operations, I'm going to take items A through L on motion. All those were reviewed, as Mr. Driscoll noted in his report at the facilities meeting. The administration recommends the Board of School Directors approve the following action items. Award contracts for the tire balancer, food service, paper, disposables, and cleaning supplies, and 2 full replacement trucks. Approve the license agreement with My Turn to Drive for driver education class at Lower Merion High School and Harrington High School in the amount of $2,400. Approve extending the lease agreement with Mobile Lease Modular Space, Inc. until June 30, 2020 at a rate of $6,871 per month at Pelwin Elementary for a not-to-exceed fee total of $158,033. Approve the First Amendment to Gilbert Architects for the individual work order in connection with renovations to the cafeteria service line at Ballackinwood Middle School in the amount of $5,000. Approve the First Amendment to Gilbert Architects, Inc., individual work order in connection with renovations to the cafeteria serving line at Welsh Valley Middle School. That is in the amount of $10,000. Approved proposal from Chester Valley Engineers, Inc. for site feasibility and evaluation services for a fee of $125,000. Approved proposal from Reynolds Construction, LLC for program management assistance for not-to-exceed fee of $49,750. Approved the submission of Plan Con J, project accounting based on final costs for additions and alterations at Welsh Valley Middle School to the Pennsylvania Department of Education. Authorize administration to defer liquidated damage claims against the contractor on the repairs to the Stormwater Basin 2.1 in Harrington High School until after September 3rd, 2018. Authorize administration to approve or issue all directives, cost adjustments, schedule adjustments, professional service, and fees that the administration deems necessary for completion of the repairs to the Stormwater Basin 2.1 at Harrington High School, transaction authorized and executed by the administration shall be included in the agenda for a subsequent board meeting. Approve list of contracted transportation services, drivers, and aides, and approve the change orders for stormwater basin 2.1 repairs at Harrington High School and the cafeteria serving area modifications at Walsh Valley Middle School.
Thank you, Mr. Orlando, and of course, those were all reviewed at the Facilities and Purchasing meeting, as Mr. Driscoll reported. Are there any questions from the board at this time? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. Okay, I'm going to... Okay, so I'm going to do some new business now. We're going to vote on approving a donation request pursuant to Policy 701, Sale or Disposal of District Property and Equipment. The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the following donation request. That's 8 laptops, 2 box lunch, and a book program in Bryn Mawr. Are there any questions? No. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? The motion passes. And as well, and this is the new agenda item that we added before the meeting began. Be it resolved that the terms of the Act 93 meet and discuss agreement between the Lower Merion Board of School Directors and the Lower Merion Organization of School Administrators for the period July 1, 2018 to June 30th, 2020 are hereby ratified by the Lower Merion Board of School Directors. These terms shall be incorporated into the Act 93 meet and discuss agreement between the Lower Merion between the board and LMOSA, and such revised Act 93 agreement shall constitute a board-approved Act 93 agreement, which the president of the board is hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the board. And that is on board docs now, as is a summary, correct? Yeah. Okay, so are there any questions from board members? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Then the motion passes. Okay. At this time, I will ask if there's anyone from the public who would like to speak on any issue at all, whether it's an agenda item or a non-agenda item. You need to be a resident or taxpayer. You need to tell us your name. You have 3 minutes to speak. If there's anyone who would like to speak, please come sign in with Ms. LaPera.
I already have 2 signed up, and they can start. It's Marcia Manzoni and Holly Manzoni?
Yeah, Holly actually had to go.
Okay, so Marcia.
Okay, Marcia, you can get started.
Okay. My name's Marcia Manzoni. I live in Narberth. I just graduated from college a year ago, so my public school experience is still pretty fresh in my memory. I went to Unionville High School, and while I was there, we had a major renovation project that required a referendum to pay for it. Like Lower Merion today, Unionville's enrollment had exceeded the capacity for the school. I remember that a lot of parents were fighting hard to get approval for the project, and they were particularly bothered that some students had classes in modular buildings. But I don't know why they were so bothered. The kids didn't mind them at all. They were actually pretty nice. The battle over the renovation project got nasty and tore the community apart. Older residents with no kids in the schools did not want to pay for more than was needed, and some called the proposed building a Taj Mahal. The referendum failed by a 2-to-1 margin. Like Lower Merion, the Unionville community is proud of their schools and their high ranking, and may well have passed the referendum if they had felt it was reasonable. Eventually, the plan was pared down and the high school was renovated. I think we need to keep things in perspective here. Once taxes are increased, I don't think they ever go down. And that means that the taxpayers will be paying a higher rate for as long as they live here. And that's exactly why Act 1 was enacted, to keep rising property taxes in check. Many of the taxpayers are senior citizens, some living on fixed incomes, and they can't afford big tax increases. Is it fair to burden these residents with taxes that they will be paying for the rest of their lives in order to build a state-of-the-art school that the students will be in for 3 years? Is it fair considering that there are less costly alternatives? For the most part, kids aren't concerned about the building in which they learn. Right about now, kids are probably getting their schedules for the upcoming year, and I'm sure they're talking with their friends about what classes they got and what teachers they have, but I don't think they're going to be talking about what classroom they're in. They don't care whether there are pods outside or the state-of-the-art technology that's inside. What matters is having good teachers and reasonably small class sizes. Lower Merion can continue to provide an excellent education to all the students by renovating existing schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hello, Adrian Seltzer, 705 Graythorn Road, Wynwood. I would like to know whether you've taken eminent domain for Stoneleigh off your sites and are looking around elsewhere in the township for a possible location for fields. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to know, my name's Shane McCalish. I live in Marion Station, across the street from Bella Middle and Elementary Schools. Mr. Copeland, you mentioned partner schooling at the beginning, and that wasn't a phrase I'd heard before, and I was just curious what that meant.
Thank you very much.
I'll keep this short and sweet. I'm Sam Catania from Havford. To me, as a student, facilities are very important, and I think the district has a strong commitment to keeping our facilities beautiful and open, modern. And so I can definitely say with extreme confidence that the facilities make a large difference. You know, obviously we have fantastic teachers, program, and curriculum here in Lower Merion, but the facilities too are a hallmark of the district, and so I encourage the district to keep pursuing great facilities.
Thank you for your comments.
So on the issue of Stoneleigh, I think the district has said repeatedly that we're looking very hard for facilities that will make the ability to use 1860 Montgomery Avenue a school. And until then, we really aren't in a position to take anything off the table, but certainly Stoneleigh would be our last resort, if at all. In terms of partner schooling is making use of classroom space. So if you move into, say, Kinwood, and Kinwood's class sizes are already at max, but Marion's class sizes are not at max, newly registered students would have the opportunity to go to Marion Elementary School instead of Kinwood Elementary School for a particular grade, and the district would provide the transportation.
Okay. Mr. Roos, can you do the sunshine?
Yes, be happy to. Board met an executive session on August 6th via conference call regarding litigation and also real estate acquisition matters, such as Mr. Copeland was just describing. Board also met in person in executive session before this meeting, August 20th, to talk about construction litigation matter and also with respect to the Lmsb contract, which was approved tonight. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to announce some upcoming dates. So we have the first Education Committee meeting of the year on September 17th. That's a Monday evening at 8 p.m. in this room. And then we have our next Business Board meeting on September 24th, again, Monday evening, 8 p.m. in this room. We also have a number of committee meetings. I'd like to particularly announce that on Thursday, September 6th, in the evening at 7 p.m. We're having a facilities and purchasing meeting in which we'll have architects who responded to a targeted RFP present to the board in order to make a decision at a subsequent meeting. So and we will be taking public comment to the board about those presentations at that time, and we'll have communication going out to the school community through the HSAs in the district. Our first curriculum committee meeting will be September 12th at 8:30 a.m. in this room. September 14th will be the first policy meeting at 8:30 a.m. September 20th, the facilities and purchasing committee meeting, again, 8:30 a.m. And September 26th, communications at 8:30 a.m. So, and with that, we are adjourned, and enjoy the very last bits of summer before school starts.